You don't eat intuitively or based on what you feel. You eat according to what is on the plan, what your macros are, and any changes to the amount that you eat is rooted in rationale, and it is not made impulsively. It is not made because of a transient inconvenience or a challenge, like, you feel like you're bloated or you just don't want to eat as much food as you need to eat. The one that I see most commonly, anxiety around getting too fat. Well, you're sure you probably will still experience these feelings. I'm not saying that you should expect to not feel them just because you're going through a building phase. I'm saying expect to feel them and make the decision every single moment that you have the impulse to deviate or to make an adjustment. Be like, nope, those feelings, they will pass. They're not rooted in rationale. They're not rooted in logic. And I will not let them inherently dictate changes to my diet unless that decision truly comes from a place of, okay, this makes sense. I need to make this adjustment. In the case you're getting too fat, okay, well, yeah, maybe we do need to make the adjustment, but still it needs to be done in a systematic way. You don't bend the rules, period. You follow the program as adherently as you would if you were in a contest prep. And this is especially true for the individual I was just talking about, the individual who's like, hey, I am very anxious about gaining body weight, going through this build phase. It really, really strikes me as an impossible task because I've never once in my life been, I've never felt good after gaining weight. I've only felt worse and only felt like I'm put in this like a state of desperation where then I need to lose all the body fat very quickly. That is something that I'm not saying will be mitigated, but you can take comfort in knowing that if you are strict with your intake, if you were coming at the intentional growth phase from a place of like, you know what, I'm going to treat this as rigid as I would a contest prep, I can tell you it's very unlikely that you're going to accidentally overshoot, or you're going to take, for every step forward, you're going to take steps back in terms of like the P ratio, so the gain of muscle to body fat. Yes, maybe there are times where you're going to overindulge and like it's going to be something you're like, yeah, I chose to overindulge. I know the consequences. Like I know this is the outcome that's going to come from over consuming in excess multiple times. And maybe this is justified. But again, the decision to overeat, or really the decision to be on plan even at a higher intake, leaning more towards being on plan and still making sacrifices when it comes to food and calories and cravings and desires to eat aimlessly, being able to assess, okay, if I am highly anxious about gaining weight, what do I need to do in order to ensure I don't unexpectedly gain weight, or I don't gain unnecessary body fat? That means treating your diet as carefully as you would when you're in a state where there is a deadline staring you down and you know that, hey, there are consequences if I'm not adherent. I'm going to feel shame. I'm going to feel embarrassment. Really equating that shame and embarrassment of potentially getting on stage out of shape or not being able to hit your conditioning, equating that to similarly of, I will have to end my growth phase early if I cannot stick to this diet. Thereby, my adherence here matters just as much.